Hello, my name is Jesse Knight, and I'm the Vice President of Finance for the Double Degree Club for this term. We're here with the Voices of DT and Sasha Ramani, who is an actuarial analyst in Toronto for Manulife Financial. And he's just going to briefly go over his job, some of the positives, the negatives, some of the stereotypes, how to get it. So we'll start with a description. Sasha, give me a description of your job as an actuarial analyst for Manulife.
All right, well, I was an actuarial analyst at Manulife for 2 co-op terms. My first time I was at the corporate actuarial division, which basically involves overseeing activities that relate to all the individual business units. And my second co-op term, I was actually at one of the business units, which is Manulife's affinity markets. Now what that is your parents might have an insurance plan through their employer or through their credit card or something like that, and Manulife will be the one who is providing that insurance plan, or for any other institution such as that. So a large part of my role was to maintain the existing models. I was in the valuation team to basically process any model enhancements and just make sure that any sort of policy upgrades and such go according to plans.
All right. So basically, was there any stereotypes before you got into the job that you were expecting and that either came true or false?
I did some stereotypes that some of my friends have told me about actuarial science is that you're always in the cubicle, you never really get up. I think my cousin told me that actuarial science is for people who find accounting too interesting. Those are his words. But actually what you find is that, although there is a lot of desk work, there's definitely a lot of still meeting with people and networking, that all of that's also extremely important. So you're not just confined to your desk all the time, that the whole interpersonal business relations are also extremely important.
Okay. Very good. So what were some of the high points of your job? Some of the things you found most interesting?
Some of the parts which I found really interesting were that I was able to actually take on a lot of responsibility, and I was able to get a really good oversight into how the business unit worked as a whole. Particularly since I got a corporate view top down, I also had a business unit view bottom up. So that helped give me really good exposure into the insurance industry, I feel. So that was one of the things I really enjoyed. I was able to really use a lot of my skills to benefit the organization as a whole.
Mm-hmm. And any low points?
I guess there were some long hours at points. I have worked until 10 p.m. plus, although that's not terribly often or anything. It's like quarter in, so very few times a year. And there's also a lot of individual learning. You have to be willing to figure out things on your own, which I can definitely see that being difficult for some people.
And for those DDs out there that are going to apply for Manulife, what do you think of Manulife as a company?
I think Manulife is a fantastic company. They are Canada's biggest insurance company for sure, and they have a really big global presence as well. One of the great things about them is that I was on exchange in Hong Kong before, and Manulife in Toronto was able to interview me using their Hong Kong office via a video conference. So obviously a big company such as Manulife is able to pull that together, and they have a really good support system for budding actuaries as well, help them write their exams, prepare for them, and so on.
Okay. So for those of you at home who don't know Sasha, he's actually an alum. He's basically got 5C double degree right now. He's pretty much already graduated. So he can definitely enlighten on the double degree advantage that he's had with his job at Manulife. So would you like to?
Sure. One thing that you'll learn about being a double degree is that it's a relatively new program, but a lot of employers are really learning that we have a lot to offer. So companies like Manulife in particular are increasingly hiring double degree students through both Waterloo and Laurier. And especially since as an actuary you need to have both the soft and hard skills, like the business savvy and the math background, the people in our program are well suited for these positions. And this is what firms are increasingly realizing as well.
Very good. So I guess last, we'll just conclude it with, for someone out there, what is the best way to go about getting a job like this in terms of preparation, being well-suited, soft skills, etc.?
Well, in order to become an actuary, there's a long certification process. There are several exams you have to write, online courses, so on and so forth. So basically, the more you're able to get those out of the way as early as possible, the better of an advantage you'll have. For example, I've completed 5 exams at this point, and so I would theoretically at least be more employable than somebody who has 1. Mm-hmm. But of course there are other soft skills come into play as well. Employers are always looking at what else can you bring to the table besides just your marks or just what you have on paper. They want to get to know you behind the scenes as well. So as I tell everyone, get involved in school, get involved in the greater society, and just that way you come off as more of a human, that they're employing. Because at the end of the day, you're somebody who I want to work with. I have to make sure that you're somebody I actually like. And even if you're a brilliant person, if I hate your guts, I'm not going to hire you.
great way to conclude it. Well, Sasha, thank you for being on
Thanks, Justin.
episode 5 of Voices of Double Degree. Next up, we'll have Addis with trading. Thank you.